Bienvenue, I'm the theoliverpickard. Welcome to beautiful Limousin, France. Let's have a bit of vent. There we go. Check that out for a view. I'm out for a bit of a drive today. This is one of my favourite driving roads, and it's one that I don't get to drive on very often. So I thought I'd take the opportunity, seeing as how it's so beautiful and the weather's so nice, to get out and have a nice little drive, and to kind of make this episode a little bit podcasty, just to talk to you guys and tell you guys about what's going on. I don't care where you live, my roads are better than your roads. So today I'm not going to do much editing, hopefully. I'm going to leave it as unedited as I can. And the reason for that is I want to go for a drive with you guys, and I want to show you guys kind of around the area where I live. I want to show you how beautiful Limousin is. Just because I can. And I wanted to answer some questions that some people had in last week's video when I replaced Jolene's exhaust. A lot of people asked, did it actually make a difference? And lots of people kind of questioned whether it made a difference or not. The answer is yes, it made a massive difference. She's running a lot better. Drop down to the third. She's running a lot better, especially at kind of car park speeds, like slow maneuvering speeds. Even the clutch feels different, and I think that's just because she's got a lot more low down torque right from the word go, and the plugs aren't fouling up. One of the issues I had with the exhaust was that the spark plugs were getting really grubby and oily. She's just running cleaner. She feels smoother, power delivery is a lot smoother. It doesn't have this pickup all of a sudden. And a problem that I've had with Jolene for quite a while, because the carb was completely out of tune, she was set up completely incorrectly. The timing was even out, but, which is very hard to do with the 2CV, to get the timing wrong. But basically, kind of everything was out of whack. Including obviously the exhaust now. So she now runs much cleaner, she's better on fuel, although I haven't done a heck of a lot of driving because I've been very busy on the house. Right guys, I'm going to edit. No, I won't edit this bit out because you can't see where people live properly. My favourite things about Jolene is the sound of the indicator. So, what was I saying? Yeah, she's running much cleaner, she's running much healthier, everything's better. And she sounds fantastic. She sounded fantastic before. I also did a little bit more sound deadening while I had the wing off and stuff like that. I've done some more on this side, and I didn't do any on that side, but I have done the underneath of the dashboard, because oddly I found that the underneath of the dashboard was actually vibrating as I drove, especially on the motorway. One day when we went to see a castle, I kind of had a play in the motorway when I wasn't driving, and I kind of went round and touched panels in the car and listened for the difference. And an old 2CV is so flimsily made that good quality but very thin metal. Obviously, because they were rationing metal, they made it literally as thin as they could be. If the bonnet was any thicker or thinner, it would bend. So yeah, one day when we were on the motorway, I had a play around the car, and I went round and touched all the different panels that I could get to from my seat. And one of the noisiest panels was actually the dashboard, which I suppose makes a lot of sense when they, I'm not comparing Jolene to a Rolls-Royce Phantom, but when they made the new Phantom, or the last Phantom, the one before the brand new one, it had a dashboard made of magnesium, and it was one of the biggest magnesium castings ever made for a car. And the reason for that is that they found that a lot of the squeaks and rattles came from the dashboard, so I suppose it makes sense. Oh, backfire. Yeah, it's kind of a known thing that dashboards tend to squeak and rattle and stuff, so I'm not surprised really, I suppose. And it is just a vibrated little shelf, so it did transmit quite a lot of noise into the cabin. I always try not to, I always try to edit out kind of small villages and stuff like that from these videos, and the reason is that obviously you move to the countryside, or you live in the countryside, because you don't want loads of people looking at you. You want your space, you like your space, and you like the quiet. And so I try and respect that in these videos, and I always have done, really. And that's why I live near a chateau, a very big chateau, and I don't like taking photographs of like Jolene in front of the chateau, because it's not my house. But it is someone else's house, and because of that, just shut down the vent for a second, it's noisy. And because of that, like, I don't do that kind of thing in videos, because simply it's not my house. The same with other people's cars. I always like to have permission before I take pictures of people's cars and stuff like that, just because some people are private, Something that I'm still kind of coming to terms with is me coming out of shops and seeing people taking photos of Jolene. That's a very odd thing for me. And please, if you see me driving Jolene, please wave and say hello and stuff. And part of having a car that is a piece of French history in France is that, of course, people come up and tell me their 2CV stories, and you can't just go and buy fuel. There's always someone at the garage that wants to have a chat, and that's awesome. And I really do enjoy listening to people's stories and stuff. But it always weirds me out slightly when I go to a supermarket or something like that, and I come out of the supermarket and there's some dude taking photos of my car on their iPhone. That's a bit odd to me. It shouldn't be, because I do the exact same thing. Like, if there's something really nice and rare and like in a car park, of course I'm going to take a photo. But I always try, whenever possible, to ask permission first. Just to go slow here, because it goes over a Roman bridge. Thank you, Romans. Go, Jolene, go! This is a nightmare of a hill to cycle up. I'm gonna have a sweep. Sorry. Ah, she's got it now. One of the questions I get often asked about Jolene, one is about the suicide door. Does the suicide door just fly open? Right. The only reason why a 2CV door would open is that the hinge, the actual, not the hinge, the catch has come loose. There is a myth of 2CV doors swinging open, the suicide doors, this is before 1964, just swinging open wildly. They don't do that unless they are loose, and they can vibrate loose because they're just held in with screws and people don't use Loctite and stuff, but still not such a this hill. See, she's not that fast uphill, guys. Not a big steep hill anyway. This is an exhausting first gear hill on a road bike, so we'll cut for a bit of slack. It's very rough, is this road. Something you notice a lot in 2CVs is actually the texture of the road. On a really rough road, you just can't go as quick. And the other question that people ask me a lot about 2CVs is like, how slow are they? Because they have this myth of being this super slow car. Right, there's a few different engines in 2CVs. There's a 9 horsepower, which is the first one, and it's only really usable on roads like this. In fact, you'd probably be in first gear going up that hill we just went up, but it's only usable on country roads. You can't take it on a motorway, that kind of thing. It's not everyday usable. Then there's the 13 horsepower cars, and they're kind of the same story. You could use one every day if you didn't need to go on motorways, but even like a kind of semi-fast road that's not a motorway, you're not going to be going much faster than like 45, and you're going to have to plan your routes accordingly, because if there's hills and stuff like that, you're going to be going up at a snail's pace. You're going to be getting passed by cyclists. Jolene being a 63-64, she's actually 63, but 63-64 is the first year of the 18 horsepower model and the last years of the suicide doors. Oh, we're shifting down again. So Jolene's the first 2CV that you can really use every day. She can go on motorways just about, and she'll cruise at 50. She's actually not very happy going 50. Jolene likes to go about 55. For whatever reason, because of the way that Jolene is, when she's on a motorway doing about 80 kilometers, she gets really miserable and doesn't like it. So I have to go 90 kilometers an hour, and then she smooths down and she's totally happy. Above that, she's fine. Under that, she's fine. But I don't know why, because she doesn't like to go 80 kilometers an hour. But yeah, she's not slow by any stretch of the imagination in really hilly stuff like this, and this is a really hilly route. It's a route that I love riding on my bike. In fact, I cycled this route to pick up my mum and dad's Diane when they bought their Diane. My dad and I went to pick it up on bikes because we could, and it was about -5. And when we got there, my dad's hands were so cold he couldn't sign the paperwork for the car because his hands were blue. But it's an absolutely lovely road. And people ask me a lot, what part of Limousin am I in? I live in Creusing. That's about as much as I'm going to say, really, because like I say, I like my privacy. But I live in Creusing, and it's utterly beautiful. And there's lots of old oak forests and lots of old oak trees. And I like it here a lot. Lots and lots of wildlife, and it's very quiet. I mean, we've only seen a couple of cars yet in this video, and this is what it's like all the time. This is rush hour. It's lovely. So yeah, the cars after Jolene, the 2CV6s, and even the 2CV4s. A 2CV4 is slightly faster than Jolene, maybe. It creates more torque. It's a different engine. Well, it's a different cylinder head on the engine, different cylinder heads. It's a little bit more torquey up hills. It's a little bit quicker, but Jolene is quite a lot lighter. She's 60 kilos lighter than a 2CV4. I mean, to put that into perspective, she weighs, what the lightest Mini ever made was 650 kilos, and Jolene's 490 kilos. So that just puts that a little bit into perspective for you. I said to someone the other day that Renault's motto, their marketing motto, used to be a car for life. Can you imagine a car today? I know this isn't a Renault show, it's Citroën. But can you imagine a car company today having the marketing slogan, a car for life? It's just not going to happen, is it? But they really were built to last. Obviously 2 CV6s are a lot faster than Jolene, but I find Jolene sufficiently quick, he says, crawling up a big hill. This is a very, very big hill, okay? No, but she isn't quick up hills. She's alright if she's had a run up, but a B road hill like this that's very steep, she takes her time to get going up, because she just doesn't have much pulling power. But it's part of what gives her character. You know, she's an old car. She's 56 this year. And she's not doing badly for a 56-year-old snail. Come on, girl. She'll like this bit in a second. But yeah, you've just got to be very efficient with your power. You've got to carry momentum well. Because you've got such little engine power, you don't tend to use the brakes much. You know, you don't have to set yourself up for a corner like you do in a fast car where you have a braking zone and you brake into it. Most corners you can just kind of trundle through them. Like, she's not a racing car, although she does feel like a little rally car. She isn't really. A nice little old girl, aren't you, Jolene? Jolene's like, no, I'm a rally car girl. This is why I love this road. I've come all this way around to drive on this particular road. So like I said, is Jolene really that slow? Yeah, she is. She's as slow as you'd like a car to be to use every day. You wouldn't want it to be any slower. Oh, hang on, big tractor. This is the problem with driving fast around here, is that it's full of giant tractors. All of Limmers and all of Creusers. Full of giant tractors, and on the skinny roads, yeah, even going quick, you don't know what's coming the other way when you've got hedgerows and stuff like that. So yeah, she's really as slow as you'd want her to use every single day. I wouldn't want her to be any slower, but having said that, to look at the speed of a car like this is it's a bit unfair on her, because it's not that sort of car, because that's not really what they're made for. Look at that view. Is there anything better than a 2CV and one of the best driving roads in Europe? No, there's not. I say one of the best driving roads in Europe. I live in one of the best driving places in Europe. I really do. It's lovely. I'm blessed to live in such a beautiful, beautiful place. This is the reason why I moved here. Like the house and all the other stuff, that's almost inconsequential. I moved to France to have beautiful green scenery. I've now been living here properly over a year, and every single day I wake up and feel lucky. And every single day, even when it's rubbish weather and I'm working on my house and I'm wet and it's miserable, I feel lucky. And if you're in a job and you don't wake up in the morning and feel lucky, if you're in a job and you wake up in the morning and you hate your job and you don't want to go and you hate where you live, it's time for a change. It really is, because life is too short to be miserable. Life is too short to be sad. And if things aren't the way that you want them, you really need to be proactive and make that change, because it is worth it. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't have worries and that I don't have problems and that I don't get stressed, because I do. But it's, you know, shooting these videos, making these videos, talking to you guys, it's my passion. And you know, thus far I've done it completely unpaid, and I'm completely happy to do that, because it's what I love doing. And I'm the happiest I've been in my entire life, which is saying something, because I'm currently living in a side building. Limousin cows, and the Limousin cows, Limousin cows. Those cows only live here. It's kind of a thing of Limousin, the symbol of Limousin. But yeah, like I say, I'm not going to lie and say that it doesn't get stressful. I'm not going to lie and say it doesn't get difficult. But I am the happiest I have ever been in my entire life. And how could you not be with roads like this? Part of my inspiration for making this video was the fact that the other day I uploaded a video of me driving up a hill on Instagram, and it went nuts. Thousands of views and hundreds of likes, and I was absolutely blown away with how well it did. So I thought I'd kind of just go for a drive with you guys. So if you did like this video, please let me know by clicking the like button, and let other people know by sharing the video. I always read all of your comments, every single one of them, and if you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, then click subscribe. You can either do that down below by clicking the word subscribe, or there's a button at the end of this video that looks like my face, so click on my face. And with that, I'll tell you all to please be awesome to each other, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.
And baby, let's fly.